So I'm going to share my screen and go back to where we were the other day. Um, okay, there we go. And if you remember, here's my dog, okay, with all my setters and getters. Again, terminology, guys. You need to know what these are: constructors, um, setters and getters, instantiate, to create an instance of. What is an object? What is a class? Again, the class is nothing more than basically a blueprint to create objects from. So you need to know that terminology, okay? So when people are talking to you about it, you know what that is. I think, again, if you think of my scenario where if I want to go buy a dog and I go in a pet shop, but I don't know what a dog is, they sell me a hamster, and my leash for my dog isn't exactly going to fit on a hamster because I didn't know what a dog was. I mean, it's a silly example, but it's true. If you don't know what the terminology is, um, how can you, you know, do the job correctly? Okay, when you get in the real world. Jumping over to here in our, you can see how I have these all remmed out now because they're not going to work because of some of the stuff I did down here. But we're still, what happened there? I just kind of zapped my whole program. What happened, Doug? Class Doug. Okay, or class dog. I did something's crazy over here. There's that. Well, 2 seconds ago, that wasn't there. Okay, so let's go here. Dog show scanner. Jeez, what did I do here? There. Oh, I must have put something in up there. So now it's working. So if I, in fact, run it right now, we get Fido, the collie. So this is where you should have been. And the scenario here is that this is probably about useless, right? Because what we're doing here is we have to hard code this in. So it isn't like when somebody clicks this that the user can use this. All they get to see is the output, right? They're not putting in the data. And that's what we need to fix now. We need to have it so they get to put in that the user, the fourth person in our scenario, again, in our example, we had the guy that wants to build a house to sell, the speculator. We had the architect, we had the carpenter, and we have the final user. Well, right now there is no final user except somebody to press the button and say, "Oh, there's a dog." Okay. The input is being done by our carpenter at that level. So that isn't good. We need it so the user can put in add dogs, as many dogs as they'd like. Um, Using our blueprint or our class. Okay. So here we're using the default constructor and we're using settings here. Uh, and we could go ahead and instead of hard coding in, we're going to go ahead and make these variables. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and copy this. Whoops, that was nice, Doug. Go ahead and copy this up to here. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. At some point here, copy it. Come down here, and then I can go ahead and run that out. By doing that. And then I'll just paste a copy of it down here. And then we're going to change all this. Okay, so this is going to be our dog 4 or something like that. This one will use the default constructor with, or no, this one will use the parameterized constructor with, the variable, with input. So this one, we're going to depend on our carpenter to put in the right questions. Okay, which is okay unless I work in a big firm. Okay, and where the same people are going to use this over and over as a template for any programs that we write. I'm going to go ahead here, edit, replace, and I'm going to replace the 3s with 4s. Okay, so that should be okay now. Close this thing. So we got that. And so now what I'm going to do, let's see here. So all these need to go away. Okay. And like we've done, we're going to say system.out.print, enter the name of your dog. And then, oops, I forgot my semicolon on the end down here. And then we can say, I must not have instantiated a scanner. So run up to the top and make yourself a scanner. Okay, so we're going to say private static final scanner. Again, this should be almost like you should be able to do this in your sleep by now. Don't forget, if you're going to want to knock out some classes over the summer, it's a good time. 8 weeks and you're done. Okay. So now my user con is working. Okay. Again, if I'm going too fast, you need to say something because I can't tell because I can't see your bewildered faces. Let's see, do I really need that? Thinking about something here. I think what we can do here is this. Let's try this instead. Instead of creating all these oh no, this is what I want. Yeah, we're fine. Never mind. What comes next? Name, breed, color. So, and then we got group. What do I call it? AKC group equal to and again, if I was doing this for real, I'd probably make this a date data type. But for our purposes today, just as an example, we'll just do that. Actually, I'm going to go back up here so it's more user friendly. I'm going to just do this example, month, day, year. Oops. So that's a better prompt. Okay, and then we have system.out.print. Let's do it this way first. Let's go char gender is equal to a single X like that. If it's a char, then a do. Something like that. And then we go here. If we'll copy that, paste it in here. Like that. Okay. So once I have all that, then using my parameterized um, I can't do that. This needs to move down. So here we'll say dog, my dog 4 is assigned a new dog, and it'll have a name, it has a breed, it has a color, it has a group, it has a DOB, it has a gender. Whoops, I didn't do my, we got more to do here. I only did the gender. I got my is registered yet. Okay, so then we'll have right there, let's go ahead and do our system.out.print is your dog, right? AKC registered. True or false? Okay. And then we'll have while not equal to or not user con as next Boolean. And system.out.print line only /n only true or false are valid inputs for this question. And then take this and put it right below that. Okay. Another copy of it. And then clear our buffer. So we just say user con.next. And then outside of that, we have our Boolean is reg is equal to user con dot next Boolean. Okay. So you have this again, because if the user types in anything else, you know, we don't want it. It'll crash your program. So then we're just going to go ahead and copy this one right there. Come down here, Control V it in. And then this one will be, what did I do? I need dividers in here. Okay, here's gender. Here's this one, Boolean. Okay, we should have a divider here, but we won't for right now. Okay, so this one is now, is your dog fixed? true or false. Okay, is your dog fixed? And then is your dog fixed goes here. And then is fixed goes down here. Like that. So we have these two checking. You got one here. And then you got another one down below it. And then it comes down here. So now we have everything we need, I believe, to, so this is reg and is fixed. It should look like that. So again, at this level, we've got input, but it's being controlled at the third level down. We have the original spec guy. We have the architect that draws the class or the blueprints. Then we got the builder. That's where we're at right now. And then, of course, the user is the person that's going to fill this out. So now I should be able to run this. That's not good. Variable group class dog show location 1 error. Okay, so I do got an error somewhere here. Group, what did I call it up here? AKC. Yep. So instead of group, this should say AKC group, capital letters, and then run it again. And it says enter the name of your dog, and I'll say my dog is Molly. And Molly is a dachshund. I think that's how you spell it. I don't know. There's an H-U-N. Okay, Molly's getting changed into a beagle. And the color of my beagle is tricolor. And she's in the, I don't know, hunting group. And I shouldn't have had a /n on that, but let's say that Molly was born on 01/01/2001, and she's a female. Is your dog registered? And I'll put in no. And it says, wait, you can't put that in. Okay, so now I'll say, is she registered? Yes, she is. And same thing here. If I put in yes, it says, nope, you can't do that. Type in true. And you can see Molly's information down here. So this is a lot more usable, right? Because the user, if I put this in a loop, can put in as many dogs as they want. But the input is being controlled at this level, okay, not up at this level in the dog in the architect level. So we're depending on the programmer of this class to get all this stuff right. Okay. So we're at this level. So again, if they didn't put in all these checks here, oh, darn it, Doug. Then, you know, they might be building, or my builder might not be good, and they would allow the user to put in fictitious or wrong data. Okay. So that one's interesting. So that's our fourth. Oh, this should say fourth here. Our fourth dog. Okay. All right. So there's dog number 4. Okay, I'm going to whack this out now. copy it first. And then I'm going to go ahead and rem it out. Can't rem that out. That's my main. Then I'm going to paste it down here. And this will be our, it's going to use the default constructor. With input through the class level. Okay, and this will be our fifth object. Okay. And we're going to get rid of all this. And this one, we'll just say delete. All right. So now to build this one, we're going to go over into, oh, let's go ahead and change these while we're here. And this time we're going to replace 4 with dog number 5. Okay, and it's going to scream at us because right now there is no dog number 5. So we're going to go over to dog. And let's see here, I'm in dog, right? All right. So now we're going to alter all of our sets by doing this. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that. And then this name will be, let me see if I've created a user con here. I have not. So I need to go up here and create my user con. This one will be private. It doesn't need to be static. It needs to be final. And it'll be scanner, user con is a new scanner from the system in. That'll work. So now that I've instantiated that, I can come down here and start working on these. Let's go ahead and put in dividers here. So this one, we're just going to call it name, because we're going to just drop down. And then set name down here will be nothing more than user con dot next. Okay. And then we need a prompt though. So we'll come over here and just system dot out dot print. Oops. Print. Enter the name of your dog. And we'll come down here. And this one is breed. Drop down. Get rid of the argument. And this right here will be user con dot next. And enter the breed of your dog. Something like that. Drop down to color. Get rid of the argument for color. Put in a prompt. Something to that effect. Zap that out of there. Again, this is going to make it so anybody that ever uses our class has to follow this format. Okay. Or they have to create their own class. So if I work in a company that requires it all to be the same, they would use this class. Oops. Oops, I'm on date of birth. Okay, on this one, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to go back over to Dog Show and scroll up to here and copy this. Come down, go back over to dog, paste it in here. Undo it here. And then change this right here to, what is it? This is registered. Blah, 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 blah. That's, oh, crap, that's the wrong one. Go ahead and copy or delete that. Control X, move it down here under is registered. I copied the wrong one. Control V that in there. Get rid of this. And we'll have that one done. All right, so there's my is registered. We have to go back up to gender. Okay, gender one right here. So I'm going to go back over again, get my gender code here. Control C, come back over here, go up to gender right here, Control V that in. Undo that, oops. And then what's it called at the top? Is it gender? Yeah. Let me see here. Okay, so we go right here. Okay, so underneath this, we'll say this gender is assigned gender. Okay, because this gender here is this gender here. This gender is the one out here, the one we want. So you have to put that in down here at the bottom. Okay, I'll leave it there for a second. I'll be back. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the gender one we've got now. We've got gets, the registered set is in there. Now we're down to fixed. Something like that. And yes, once again, we're going to jump back over to dog show, find our part on fixed. And let's see. Right there, we're going to control C that. Go back over to dog fixed. Remove this. Come down here. Control V it. Go ahead and uncomment it. Get rid of that and change it to this. Like that. And this moves back over. And go ahead and save that. So it should look something like that, the two of them. All right. So then we're going to be back over here at our dog show, and we're going to create our fifth dog. Oh, nope. I'm sorry. Go back to dog again. We didn't fix this. So now what we're going to do up here in our default, we're going to call the sets. So I'm going to just type in set name, set breed, set color, set group or AKC group, set DOB, set gender, set is registered. If you're getting any errors here, it means you misspelled something, okay? Okay. So now you should have those like that. So from in our class here, now we're calling the inputs the way we designed it as the architect. The builder doesn't have any choice at this point, okay? If I was to rem this out, he can't get in at all without going through my default constructor. Let's do this after or in example my dog 5. We added the setters here because those other ones won't work if these are in here. Okay, the ones we did previously. All right, now we're set. Go ahead and save that, and then we'll go back to dog show, and now it'll just be as easy as this. We just say dog, my dog 5 is equal or is assigned a new dog. That's it. So we're getting no input at this level. All of our input now is up. I've got something screwed bald here. What's this one? That's my main. Okay, so I got an extra. And we should be able to run it. It says, what is the name of your dog? And we'll say that it's Max. And he is a Great Dane. Now, the problem with this is if I put a space in, it's going to be a problem because I didn't allow for spaces by using a next line. So I have to actually crowd them in like that or put a dash in or something to that effect. Or I'll get a bunch of, and Max is tan and he is a, what is he? What are Great Danes? Let's just make him non-working. He's lazy. And then we'll put a date of his birth as 10/11/2012. And he is a male. Now watch again, if I put A here, they'll say that's not right. You can't do that. So we'll put in a male. And is he registered? Once again, if I put in no, it says, wait a minute, you can't do that. You enter false and it goes in. Likewise here, is he fixed? If I put yes, it doesn't allow that. I have to type true out. And there's Max. Okay. And with all of his information. So again, it just depends on what level you want to protect the data that's being input at. This is the highest level right here because whoever controls or whoever created the class to instantiate your object from is the one now controlling how the data is put in. Okay. If we drop down a level in security, then we would be up here where the data is put in at this level, at the, let's just call it the carpentry level. Anything higher than that, it's really not user input. We're putting it in hard coded, which is pretty much useless. Okay. So that's kind of my song and dance on your first examples of objects and how we instantiate objects from a class uh, and the levels of encapsulation. Again, this guy at this point has no idea. All he sees is the prompt. When we run this, all they get is the prompt. They don't know what's going on in the background. Like when we check to see if it's male or female, the guy that's writing the code here at this level has no idea how the car runs. Just like when you start your car, you don't need to know how the motor runs. It's all, this is the key. You turn the key and this is what happens. You press this button, boom, the car's running. And all they do is put in information. And at the end, they get to the destination. Okay. So that's the best scenario there. Any questions?
Nope.
I hear crickets. Crickets. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and then I'm going to stop recording.